Linking. There we go. All right, so let's do this. And this. And this. And preparing to live stream. Pay your way.
Hard way.
Let's get frozen place there.
That's going to be the screenshot.
All right, everybody. Welcome, welcome. We got the Facebook Live going. And let's see. My hair is distracting me, and then I'm just not going to pay attention anymore. Okay. Cool. Let's get this pulled up. And a little chatty chat area. And one more area. Chat. There we go. So hopefully everybody had a great weekend. Getting ready to jump into your Monday and make this the best week ever. We can destroy and uncreate all of the expectations and conclusions and judgments you have about this week and your clients and all of the points of view you have about your business, right? So that you can start with a clean, fresh slate. We do that every day, and often I do it multiple times a day, is to destroy and uncreate my relationships with my business and with my clients so that I'm not bringing any of that old guck into the relationship. I'm just starting fresh. So welcome to those of you who are joining us. Thank you so much. And I think we've got some joining on the live stream Facebook thing too, so welcome. We are on day 7. Can you believe it? We've been playing together for 7 days. You know, we kind of cheated there on Saturday with some soccer drama, but you know, oh well. Everybody needs a day of rest. All right, we're going to wait just a couple more minutes here until we get top of the hour, and then we'll officially get started, although I think everything's already recording, so if you guys are catching this as a replay, you know, we've already got that recorded.
We're there.
We are.
Does anybody have any questions from where we left off? Any comments? Any thoughts, follow through? I know there's some of this is, you know, people have been catching some of this intermittently. Some of them have been diligently doing homework and submitting it in the group. And for that, I'm really grateful. There's a lot that is really interesting. Really enjoying the feedback this week. Mm-hmm. As a review, while we're bringing the last people on, Mandy got an inspiration, and this challenge is to invite our community into becoming 1 million conscious entrepreneurs that are generating $1 million, which for me was totally fantastic. And I had to like do the quick math on that. I was like, that's $1 trillion. Just sit with that.
Or we're creating an entire economic
boom.
You know, think about $1 trillion more dollars in the world.
That's 12 zeros.
It's a lot of zeros.
It's a lot of zeros, right? So one thing I love about that is if we get 1% today, right? If we get 5% this month, right? You can really feel the amount of momentum that's growing with that. So as we've gone forward, there's been a series of questions that have led to, you know, some homework and some thought-provoking conversations, right? One of which is, do you create your life, right? What does 1 million mean to you, right? What do you want? Mm-hmm. What are you tolerating? What impact would you like to make? What is impact, mm-hmm. right? And what happens with inaction? I think that what happens with inaction is where you left off last time. Mm-hmm.
So I want to talk, bring in a little technical skills here today, and jump into one of the things I think that is the biggest shift for entrepreneurs when it comes to marketing is the concept of you know, how do I talk about my stuff in a way that other people care, right? And we come at it from, sometimes it's something that we've, you know, have found has benefited us. And so we're, you know, very much proselytizing, you know, sharing, oh my God, this is so amazing. I love it. This is what it's done for me. And for some people, that's a big turnoff, right? To sort of be approached. We make the joke of, you know, pointing out that people are fat, right? As you can't, as a fitness person, you know, just walk around and go, hey, you need me. This is broke, or, you know, this is fat. Like that in and of itself doesn't sort of set yourself up for a very good relationship, right?
And in part, we understand that people have to want to change. They have to actually ask in order to create the change.
Right.
Right. You can't force somebody into doing something and have long-term success. They have to desire to change, and often that comes in the form of a question.
Right. So I want to take a couple minutes this morning and talk to you in a very fun way about some ideas about how to talk about what you do in a way that's a little more tangible to the things that people are actually looking for out in the marketplace. Because for me, it means that I can charge more. It's actually, from a consciousness point of view, really acknowledging somebody and all the little transformations, all the little micro transformations that have to happen in order for them to get the result that they're looking for. So Ron and I are going to hop over on to screen share now. And I think I want to do that here. And then let me know when you can see my little PowerPoint. If you'll let me know in the chat that you're live and that you can see this. I'll open this up just a little bit bigger too. Hey, Deborah's here. Deborah, can you see the slides? Yeah,
yes,
Anita can see it. Okay,
excellent.
perfect. Okay. All right, so everybody, hopefully, well, we have people in different countries. Everybody know what a Tootsie Roll Pop is, right? In America, it's this candy that has been around for years. It's a sucker, and it has a chocolate center, a soft, gooey Tootsie Roll little center, and then it has a hard lollipop kind of thing around it, right? Yeah, so Nanette knows. I just wonder if in the other countries if they end up knowing.
I would think so. And Brian posted a GIF or a commercial video in the Facebook thing, so you can get an idea of what the concept is. If it doesn't connect, I think it will, but if it doesn't land, the video will definitely give you the idea.
This in and of itself is like a tremendously successful marketing campaign if we look back at it, because they have this cute little owl, and for years, you know, they're making commercials about how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop. And for those who are like, I don't know, aggressive is not the right word, but like, if you have no ability to put what's the delayed gratification, right? If you have a low tolerance for delayed gratification, you're just going to take a lick and you're going to bite into the sucker.
Because you want to get to the middle of it.
Because you want to get to the middle of it, right? But the whole concept of this hard something is wrapped around this soft, gooey, mushy middle, okay? So play with me a little bit on this analogy. And Penelope's, this was an old presentation that we'd done previously, but when I picked it up today, it was so loud that I wanted to come play with you guys and let you know. So it scares me to think, and Penelope too, that you guys are selling or trying to sell the soft skills. You're trying to sell the center of the Tootsie Roll Pop. And if you actually combine the two, you're going to have a lot more success in things, okay? So on the right-hand side of the page are the soft skills. So if you're selling things like self-confidence, mindset, clarity, inspiration, or leadership, these are considered soft skills. Okay, they're the squishy middle of the Tootsie Roll Pop, right? Now, if you sell things like sales, advertising, marketing, lawsuit prevention, or security, you're getting into the harder skills, okay? Now, hard is in and of itself about selling money at a discount, and soft is at its core about selling improvement. Now, what do I mean about selling money at a discount?
Can I get any questions? Please feel to put them in the chat as we're going.
So I'm going to go back to this one here. And I get the chat up there.
Yeah.
So if I am teaching somebody how to increase sales in their business or in their corporation, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm in essence saying, if you invest $10,000 in me, training your team to learn these skills, then they're going to result in $100,000 or, $100,000 over the course of X amount of time in sales. So for 10,000, if you could make 100, would you do it? That's selling money at a discount. The person's buying sort of like a lottery ticket. You could look at it like even a bond,
The value that they receive is greater than the money that they lay out.
Correct. And so that happens with advertising too. That happens with marketing. That happens with lawsuit prevention and any kind of security thing. So Celeste is in this business of security. And the rest of you, I'm going to invite into how do you package what you're doing, especially if it's a soft kind of thing, into something that's going to help sales, advertising, marketing, lawsuit prevention, or security. That's going to be the fastest way that you can have a much easier time with raising your rates and finding clients who have no problem paying those fees. So let's look at that. Money is made with those hard topics. Just bottom line, this is where the money is made. So if you're having problems selling the soft stuff, it's probably because you haven't tied it into something that people really care about and that they spend the money on. So how are you making it hard on yourself? Are you trying to go out there and sell confidence? Are you and you haven't tied it to what would that confidence give somebody? And who is, like, what's the benefit of having the extra confidence, right? You must deliver soft. If you must deliver soft, you've got to find a way to wrap it inside the hard. Okay? Just like a Tootsie Roll Pop. You've got to go out there and talk about what you do in such a way that it talks about the benefits that somebody's going to get. And then when they agree that those benefits are something that they want to experience, then you can go into, all right, so here's how we're going to make that happen. Make sense? Yep. Give me a yes in the chat, or let me move over my Facebook Live so I don't ignore those fabulous little people over here so I can get the chat. I'm going to move this over here. Cool.
Good morning.
Good morning, Allison and Brian and Jessica. Looks like they're on the live. Thank you. All right. Makes sense then. Nanette says yes. And Anita says yes. That's why I sell that. I help professionals make more money in less time. Yeah, definitely. And I am going to encourage that you take that another step forward, Anita. And if there's a particular client who has gotten a result that is similar to what other people might want, you lead with that. What do I mean by that? So I had a client in the past who was a virtual assistant, and she had a particular case study that she was proud of, and she was wanting more clients to help her to more clients like that, right? And I had helped her sort of set the client up. The client was creating content on their website, but the content wasn't converting into clients. So in working with my client, I taught her how to take the blogs that she writes and turn them into a bunch of different status updates, and then schedule those status updates for the client to go out on a regular basis. And it dramatically increased the amount of people that came back and read the blog. So we were mapping out a sales funnel to help get more clients like this for Jamie. And so Jamie came to me and she was like, how to get more people to read your blog. And that was like her original sort of title, which was definitely a harder skill, right? But in the question that we asked yesterday, well, so what, right? Well, so what more people read your blog, right? What we came up with was, I said, well, go back and look at the numbers. Look at exactly how many people were reading the blog before and how many people were reading the blog after, and let's lead with that, right? And so we changed the webinar title to something like, how to get a 19,000% increase in, people reading your blogs and how to help it make you money, right? Or we tested another one where we actually said how to get 560 new people to read your next blog post, right? And those detailed numbers are much more attractive, right, than the generic more clients, more cash, more money kind of conversation. I use that as a secondary tagline. It's almost like it's a mantra that we say, but anytime you see me lead with a webinar or blogs or something, I'm getting very specific into the benefits, the hard benefits that somebody's going to get. And I wrap it in that they're still going to learn those soft topics within that.
So who has a soft topic versus a hard topic? Can I get a hashtag response, soft versus hard, or both?
So Elise is soft. Anita is got some things hard she can lead with. Deborah's saying soft, right? So this is a skill we might need to spend some more time with, right? And if you have multiple target markets or ideal clients, you're going to have to come up with multiple, you're going to have to walk through this exercise several times because you need to be able to identify why do those soft topics matter to this kind of ideal client and why do they matter to that kind of client. Oops. Nope, wrong thing.
Anita's making a play on words.
If all you get as a result is one measly sale you wouldn't have gotten otherwise, it's free. Get two and I've doubled your investment, right? So this is some language that you can use where you can easily make the case for, look, if I save you, in Allison's case, right, she is helping people overcome technology challenges, right? And so she needs to get intimately knowledgeable about what her clients charge on an hourly basis, right? If she's working with coaches or, consultants or something, right? And then if she's like, okay, so you're making $75 an hour and you spend, how long worrying about this email problem or how many hours are you spending doing that problem? And then then she can make the argument that, look, if I save you 5 hours worth of, you being frustrated at this, right? Let's just do 10 hours because the math is easier, right? If I save you 10 hours of you spending time doing this, then you got, you've just saved $750 because I'm only going to charge you $200 an hour to solve this problem, right? Or you've got 10 extra hours to go do X, Y, and Z in your life. I'm curious, do you have any hobbies? Like, do you have kids you want to go spend time with, right? Then you're selling the money at a discount because they're investing $200 to save 1,000.
And you're selling the soft when you're talking about what could they be doing. Yeah. Instead of doing this, you're mixing in a soft takeaway.
Well,
right?
The old adage is they buy with their emotions and they justify with logic. And so the opposite kind of comes here. They buy the hard and they kind of justify it with their emotions.
So Elise is asking if we can say that again.
No, I never can repeat downloads.
Right? So I don't mind getting clear and being able to restate it. We can go through this circumstance again. If you feel like you have a hard offer, right, I would like you to put one line of what the offer is. I do this for this person.
I help this person solve this problem.
So earlier in one of the lessons, we said I provide blank to blank so they can without blank and blank. And it was a simpler way for you to get your offer stated in a way that was coherent, that people could understand, that was utilizing the benefits of having an avatar. Mm-hmm. Right? So if you can state what it is your hard offer is, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, and Elise, I'm not sure which particular part you want, but if it was the example that I was sharing about with Allison, all of you need to be aware of basically what the person who's coming to you and having a conversation with you is making, right? And if you could Google that, like what is an CEO in a tech company make? Right? You don't have to be so specific about this, and you're not asking the person, hey, how much do you make? But you're using those judgments that we already have in the world of, what's their title, what kind of car are they driving, where do they live in this city, right? You're using that information to not judge whether they have money or they don't, but to help it build an awareness for you of, okay, so where did they anchor themselves in dollars for hours, right? Because if you've got somebody who's an employee, they know what their hourly rate is. They know what their yearly salary is, and they have some idea about what, what that's going to be as an increase over the year. Like if they're going on a corporate track, then they know that they're only going to get a 10% raise every year. If you're an entrepreneur, there's a lot more flexibility in helping people to understand money flows, income streams, and things like that. But being able to talk to somebody about the time that you save them, the worry that you save them in regards to whatever it is that's a hard skill that they're looking for. Like Elise, I know that you have a vision board workshop coming up, right? If we made a slight tweak to that and said, I'm going to help 20 salespeople meet their sales goals for the first quarter, come to my one-day workshop for $997, right? And then if you double your sales goals, right, then they're investing $997 to hopefully their sales goals are more than 1,000, right? So then they're buying, doubling the sales goal could be six figures to, 100,000 to 200,000, right? But you've got to think through those kinds of numbers, and how you get good at that is you have conversations with people. And if you've got money shit stuff, then, you need to find somebody who can help you talk through those things so that you don't have those points of view when you're talking to people.
All right. 2 quick points. One is we're in the chat. Everybody's needing to change their setting to panelists and participants, because right now we're just talking to panelists.
Yeah. Good point.
So nobody is seeing the group chat that's going on, including ours. It says to all panelists.
Mm-hmm.
I recognize that. Allison, I see that you're not seeing the chat. If you can, right. So Elise just wrote, sorry. That's Elise's tagline. So if you can, right. So a basic synopsis is you ought to be able to make a cogent argument about how you save time or money. That is a hard...
And time is money in most cases.
And that's why I'm giving you time as another way of doing it, right? If you can make an argument that your product or service saves time or money, then the argument would lead to you're going to receive 100 and it only costs you 50. So you're trading 50 for 100. So that is what Mandy means when she says
selling at a discount.
Selling at a discount. I'm selling $100 bills for $50. If you can make a dramatic argument, a cogent argument, a persuasive argument that I'm handing you a $100 bill and it only costs you 50, you can sell a bunch of them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's selling money at a discount. If you don't have a high ticket item where you're transforming people and maybe you still are more transaction based, or you're moving from being transaction based into high ticket, look at the lifetime customer value for the first year of the customer in their business, right? So if you're any sort of service provider and somebody's coming into you for sessions for $100, and over the year they're going to come in for 20 sessions, let's just say, right? 100 times 20 is 2,000, 20,000.
100 times 20 is 2,000.
$2,000, right? So then if you look at their life, so $2,000 is what they're going to invest in you, right? You have to look at, depending on what you offer, right? How can I make that $2,000 be a 10% increase in whatever it is for them, right? Or so that, I'm saying that sort of backwards, right?
I understand.
You're wanting them to have $20,000 at least in value that they receive for that $200 or that $2,000 investment. And if you can make that argument, you can probably make that argument for $5,000 of 20, right? Or in gambling kinds of stuff, they'll even spend 90% to get 100% return, right? There's all kinds of people who have different sort of gambling, parameters where will they double but everybody would double their money, right?
So Allison's making a comment that she charges $97 a month, or at least that's one, possibility for her. And I think she's having trouble understanding how to make that conversation. So how that conversation could look is, look, your website is the front line of your business, right? If you're running, you need to make sure that website is up. If you had a couple of days where that website was off or down, or people aren't able to do business, that's where you're losing money, right? If your business is doing $30,000 a month, right, for an online business, that's not a lot of money. That's $1,000 a day. So if I make sure that you don't have a single down day for the $97 a month, right, you can see that's a 10-to-1 value for a single day's problem.
And Allison, if you're dealing with people who don't, so the website maintenance is also like, I know personally, I'm in my website, and I teach this to our community about, like, look, if you want an online business, right, if you want an Instagram business or Facebook business, or you just want a laptop lifestyle, you have to be, like, your website is your number one asset. Because I'm sorry, if you build your entire business on Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram, and Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn gets pissed at you and shuts down your account, you've got nothing. Like, your entire business is obliterated in a day, right? But a website, a properly maintained one, is the only asset that you've got to your online presence, right? So if you hold that key for them of educating them about why it's important. So I spend, as a whole, even for myself, 2 hours a day on my website, right? And I have other team members who are spending time on building things, right? And even in the beginning, Jessica's a newbie at building the website. She got herself built one last year. But she's learning, every day I got to go log in. I got to look at my stats. I got to update my plugins, right? There's going to be a point in time where she's like, I already understand all the things I need to be doing every day. Wow, I need to invest in somebody else doing that. And it is this amount of time that I don't have to be doing it, because she's looking at charging higher rates. So if the 97 or whatever price you guys are charging, you come up against people and they're saying this is too much, two things: you're not in front of the right person, or two, you're not speaking to them in a way that they care about what it is, right? And for me, I've had to have people say no to me and go hire a competitor for me to get that lesson of okay, you know what? They're better at marketing than I am. So if I want to help people, that I got to get better at this. I got to learn these skills.
So Mandy's now drawn two aspects of how to make that argument of making a hard asset sale, trading
time for
discounting money,
mm-hmm.
right? You gave them the high ticket and also lifetime customer value,
mm-hmm.
right? So I hope that that's clear.
Mm-hmm. So Penelope ends this with, which will you choose? She had two little Pomeranian friends next door for a while, and we dressed them all up in costumes for some marketing stuff. All right. So did this help? Your next step in this is you need to acquire some skills, right, around how do I talk about what I do in a way that makes people care, right? And it's out there, right? You kind of know this. Sometimes you just make this a little bit hard, but you know this, right? You know these kinds of skills. Now, the next thing I want to go into is talking to you about, we're going to get another little dose of the truth here, right? So I want to walk you through this particular exercise for two reasons. One is for yourself to get clear on how much you're investing in playing small. And two, this might be an example that you can use with your clients to take what we just were teaching about, the Tootsie Roll Pop, right? Anchoring the soft things with selling the hard around it, right? And understanding total lifetime value of somebody and understanding the impact of what the problem they have is going on. Okay. So we want to walk through this in two ways. You're doing this for you, And then later, we're going to be thinking about this as far as how it relates to how you can use the same sort of concept when you're doing the selling of your product or service. Okay. So this is a picture of the beach house that I have mentioned in some of the calls about that I manifested, right? I asked for a divorce, and then immediately I get sort of gifted this 5,000 square foot beach house. Penelope's never seen a pool so big. She thought it was a big, water bottle, right? And it was a shift for me in I'd never sort of experienced being in a house that big. And my parents are second generation American and really always believed in working hard for their money, saving every penny, right?
Hard for the money.
Right? And it was during this time frame for me that I invested in some training that gave me a big shift in employees live off of a fixed income mindset, right? They live in a reality where the only money they're going to get this year is what they get every other week in their paycheck. Salespeople might get some sort of bonus or a percentage of commissions, right? But it's still a pretty fixed amount of money, right? How many of you on the call have been an employee and now you're an entrepreneur? Let me know that in the chat, because one of the switches that you've got to make that will help you be more successful is you have to destroy and uncreate all of those points of view you have when you think like an employee instead of thinking like an entrepreneur. And one of the reasons why I became an entrepreneur is because I saw things like this beach house, and I stayed in a question of, okay, so what would it take? Like, I knew it was impossible or was going to take like 40 years worth of work to get a job, save up enough money to be able to buy a house like this, right? Or I had to marry rich or something, right? And none of those were options that I really, like, I didn't like any of them. None of them sounded fun if I really was honest with myself about it, right? Like, it seems nice to, let's marry somebody rich and not have to worry about this. But a lot of women I know who are married rich are not happy people, right? So.
You mean there's other things than money?
Yes, right?
Wow, that's huge hashtag takeaway. There are bigger things than money.
Right?
Hashtag takeaway.
So in learning how to create the money you want in order to live the life that you want. So we talked about the world's simplest business plan. Well, when you're using your business as the way to fund it, you can see here that if you take all the money in your business in and you just divide it out, okay, so half of this I live on, half of this I put in, or 10% I put in savings, 10% I invest, 10% I retire, 10% I have pleasure, 10% I go to charity. Like, wow, it just feels constrictive. It feels like yucky, and there's no sort of growth there. But an entrepreneur can simply say, if it wants to increase its savings or its investment or its pleasure, account, it can just say, okay, how do I go create more money so that I can go do those things, right? And getting good at those money-making skills is, to me, what true financial freedom is, because we've all seen tons of people save up all their money for years, right? And put them in stocks or put them with money managers so they would be safe. And then if I cash out, I'm going to be financially free, only to learn that with a turn of a stock market, it's all gone, right? So the only real security you have is yourself and what you choose. So your growth and your success are a direct result of the investment you make in yourselves. Now, one of the things that I find interesting is how many of you have invested in your own modalities, right? So we've got some Reiki people on the line. We've got some people who've done some access classes. We've got people who have degrees, certifications. So one piece for homework for you. I'd like a quick chat just so I can continue to feel the energy of where you guys are at. But what degrees and certifications do you have? And how much money did you spend getting them?
Look at the chat on that.
Yeah.
So I went to the University of Florida. I was in school for approximately 7 full years. So you can imagine, right, how much investment that was.
Like a $30,000 school, or?
This is going back some time, and it depends. Like, I dedicated my whole life to that venture at that time, so I would, include that on top of the tuition. I would say it's easily a $50,000
a year.
No, more like a total, because I, at the time, this is, that was 1990. That was a while ago, right? It was probably $6,000 a year in tuition.
Okay.
I would guess.
Oh wow, that's cheap.
$100 a credit hour, $125 a credit hour. Right, and I did 130 credits plus masters.
Okay.
But I'm dedicating my whole life to that.
Mm-hmm.
I also have the food, right? And since I've dedicated the whole life, I'm not doing anything else.
So Anita says she has a university and CPA, which was 7 years, which is $40,000. She got ministry certification or whatever for $8,000. I know.
How much did we spend in our certifications last year?
I have not talked with the accountant yet. They just finished the books, but I know we spent probably close to $50,000 just last year.
Yeah.
Right, because we both are doing the access facilitators thing, and that's about $40,000 per person to do that. I know I spent like $8,000 in getting Pilates certified, and I know I spent about $10,000 in getting certified for email marketing funnels. Sales digital marketing funnels. Right, I would add this up. Right, so creativity coaching certification, $4,000. Right, give yourself, first of all, the gift of acknowledging all of those training programs that you've paid for, right? And even if you want to add in the ones that don't give you certifications, but that just give you, that you just like, oh, I learned this skill and now I can go teach people that, or now I, know more about that. Okay? Because what I want you to do here is, if we were an accountant, and I'm sorry, Anita, I'd probably suck at all the words of this, but if we took just the last 10 years, let's say, okay, the last 10 years of investments you've made in your education, right? And we broke that down and said, let's amortize the return on that investment for the next 10 years, right? Then you'd be taking that $50,000. So over the last 10 years, let's say an easy number is $100,000 that we spent, right?
Fair.
If we take that $100,000 and we divide it by the next 10 years, right? Then we've got $10,000 a year that we need to make in order to pay back that original sort of investment. And anything over that $10,000 gives us just pure profit, right? And shows that investment can pay itself back. Maybe we pay off the next year sooner, or maybe we, it just totally changes and transforms our life, right? So this is where, for most of you, I've seen people put different hourly rates for different certifications that they get and say like, okay, an hour of Reiki is this much and an hour of massage is this much. And they just have some interesting points of view about that, right? And then I've seen people who, don't acknowledge that, they can't help but do all these other modalities when they do this other thing with people, right? So if Nada's looking at people's books and she has a certification in ministry, don't you think she adds some extra value to her accounting clients by being able to use those skills in a session with somebody? So take a look at how much you've spent and just divide it by the next 10 years and look at what amount per year do you need to generate to just sort of acknowledge what it is that you've already invested. There?
Yes.
And it'll also help you with that, of helping you to raise your rates, because most of you have spent more than $100,000 in getting yourself here and educated and things like that. And so from that, yeah, Allison's like 200,000, and Deborah's like, oh, easily more than 100. Oh yeah. And I find most people who aren't charging enough or aren't working with clients who appreciate them enough are discounting all of those certifications and all of those degrees. Sometimes they feel like, well, this doesn't go with that. Like, how can essential oils go with sales funnels? Well, I have, figured out a way to be able to talk about that. Because, you're going to be cranky while you're building a sales funnel. So let's calm you down by rubbing some lavender on you. Right? Like, it's just a natural sort of, I can't help it when a client comes in for a session, to oil them all up. Right? So let's take a look at how, so one of the things, and we have a free call that we did a couple months ago. If you have any judgment on the amount you've spent in the past, I'd highly recommend you go through the free call we did called Buyer's Remorse, because everywhere you're not acknowledging the investment that you have made, and you look back and you think, oh, I wish I hadn't spent that money, or you're disappointed that it hasn't paid you back yet, you're actually cutting the universe off from continuing to reap benefits from that original investment, right? And that program helps to clear through a lot of that guck, because that guck is often what keeps us from investing at the next level that we need to, and from a way, in a way that really is going to help us, right? Because what got us to, like, if somebody had told us, or those of you who've gone off and gotten degrees in the things you love, nobody also said that you also need to learn how to sell yourself and how to market yourself too. They just said, hey, go out and learn how to do this and you'll make money. And then you found over time that just because you know how to do this thing, it doesn't, like, clients just don't fall out of the sky, right? And that's why we're here, is to support you in this transition of, you have to learn the skills that get you visible enough that clients can come to you. And then when they come to you, you've got to be aware enough and conscious enough about how to talk to them so they can invest in you and your services, and not go, okay, that was nice, and go on to a competitor.
I thought that Buyer's Remorse was an excellent class. The idea that you would subconsciously be damning things that you've done in the past and carry around shame and guilt energy around things that you haven't done or haven't yet done, and that was just in your environment, and that you were totally unaware that this was going on. Yeah. Right? To just shine the light in the darkness, I found it to be amazing. There were a lot of courageous people that shared their own examples of it. I remember one person in the class talked about how they were suddenly awakened to the idea that the books that were directly across from them, from where they sat at their desk,
they were decorating their office with these books.
And they knew that they felt like shit about that because they hadn't read the book. And that was the thought that they told themselves, that I am behind, I am bad, I am wrong because I've never read those books. As opposed to, those books are pretty. Like, it's not a condemnation of having books in your office. It's an idea that you carry around subconscious garbage, right? That if you can shine the light on it, you can dissolve it and decide which thoughts work for you, right? So in that Buyer's Remorse class, I found that to be a wonderful contribution. We went through some of the basic ideas of what it means to be a buyer and what it means to be a transaction, and how that might be keeping you from making choices in current circumstances. Wonderful.
Right. All right, so let's take a look at, we're at the new year. You guys have lots of opportunities to invest in yourself for this next year, and invest in yourself as far as like paying people to support you, and invest your time, right? So let's look at how we're gonna give ourselves a framework to go about this. All right, so I think I'm just gonna skip past this one real quick because we've already discussed that all of you need to shoot for a goal that's higher than 100,000. So can I just move past? No one here wants to play small enough and only generate $100,000, right? Because that's only $9,000 a month, and that means that, like, you got to give, a lot of that back to the business. That means you're living on 3, right? Not good. Okay. So at the 250 level, take a screenshot of this or jot these numbers down. If you want to make 250, which means you could bring home closer to 6 figures, right? Then you're looking at knowing your target is 22,000, let's say 23,000 a month, which is 5,000 a week, which is 176 an hour. Okay, jot those numbers down. If you so venture to dare for $500,000, which isn't that hard,
You want 45,000 a month. You want 10,000 a week.
I like the anagram 45454.
And you want 352 an hour.
Okay.
Okay. If you're looking to do $1 million, it's just 90,000 a month. Not even 100. It's 21 a week or 704 an hour. Now, on all of these slides, I gave you 4 weeks off a year, and I gave you a 30-hour work week. Okay? So I gave you plenty of time. So if you try to do your own calculations and you're doing it off of 365 days a year and all that, like, no. I need you taking vacations. I need you, not in your business all the time. Okay? So
I'm just laughing about the idea of somebody doing the math right now.
So
what's really going on for them?
Right. So some of you are like, my goal has been 5,000 for a long time, and I've yet to hit that. So take a look at, are you playing too small? Right? Are you not asking, are you trying to starve the business because you're not asking for enough, right? You might need to make 10 so the business can have 5 and you can have 5, right? It might be that you're not asking the right people to come play with you. It might be that you don't know how to ask the people that you're running, where can I find these people? What do I say to them? How do I receive their money? Those would be kind of things to get aware of so that you can say, you know what, those are things I need to deal with in order to hit my numbers, and I'm done playing small. This is what's going on. Okay. So I want you to know what that hourly rate is. So we're choosing the 704, and I'm going to write this down so I don't have to go back over it. So we're choosing the 704 if we're doing $1 million. Okay. We're doing the 352 if we're at 500K. And we're doing the 176 if we're doing the 250. Now, I need you to suspend your freak out of the moment of like, oh my God, I don't know how to charge 176. Okay? If I can show you how to charge 176, if I can help you to see what skills you need to learn to charge 176, like, would you do that? Right? Hopefully, if that's a yes, then you're going to stay on the call. If not, you need to go ahead and get off the call. This is not for you.
Right, if you're not interested in changing, if you're not interested in growing, if you're not interested in taking action based on what you're seeing, then
the chat is higher
okay,
up. So
okay.
Brian, if you're still there watching the stream, let us know. Ron's like looking for your comments. So he doesn't see them. Where are you guys at? The 176, the 352, or the 705? Okay. Now, truth time. Hope you have a sheet of paper, right? All right. So I want you to, we're going to fill out this whole one first. Actually, put all these little blanks on your sheet of paper here. You're going to make 6 little blanks, just like what's on the sheet of paper here. Okay. And you're going to write out what I'm making now equals. And we've all finished this last 2017. Give me a baseline, even if you haven't done all your taxes, right? Give me a baseline of what you've done for 2017. Okay? What you're making now. And if I can have somebody who is a very generous guinea pig who would like me to use them as an example so I can do that. Brian, Allison says me. Okay, so Allison's like me. Okay, Allison, what did you make last year for 2017? Give her a second to respond. A rough number. And
you could use round figures.
There's no judgment in any of this, right? We're a safe community to come play in. So what did you make last year? Type that in the chat. The only way to know how to get it better, right, or different is to know where you're at. Okay, 20K. All right. So I'm going to write 20K.
Congratulations.
There. Yes. Like, yay. So, we've had clients who started off making 18, right? And they're doing, 250 now. So it's doable. We just got to deal with what we want. So everybody knows to put their number in here in the blank. I'm trying to move my mouse where that needs to be, right? Now, we're going to put in what I want to make. And Allison, you'd written that number above.
5,000 a month.
No, what do you want to make? Do you want to make the 100, the 250, or the 500? You want to make the 500, okay? So we're going to put 500K. All right, and so we're putting 500K in this space right here, right? Now, I want you to take the top number, subtract what you're making now, and that's what you're investing to play small. Okay, so we're going to play with these numbers for Allison. Okay, I'm going to change the stuff here. So Allison wants to make 500,000. And she's making 20. I've done the slide set before, right? So that means that she's investing 480,000. Like the universal law is if you have a desire, then the means to achieve it are there. The gap is that you aren't doing what's required, right? You're not taking the action. You're not getting educated about what actions to take in order to create that outcome, right? So then let's do the math here. What? 40,000 a month? Okay. So we just got to sit with that or throw up, right? How do we feel? So we have a point of view of that seems like so much a month.
Yay!
So first of all, acknowledge that. So you have some money points of view, obviously. If you think that 40,000 a month is a lot, then we got to get over that, because you can't get through it. You can't get past it, right? If you think that that's a lot, like you'll never create that, right? And so then when you look at, okay, so I want to make 500,000, I need to value myself at 352 an hour. So then you get to say, what would it take to be able to find clients who invested that with total ease? And then you go about getting the support you need to make that happen. Okay. Anybody who's on the chat or on the Facebook who doesn't understand that, like, truth equation.
Yeah,
working through the numbers there.
Please speak up. And while they're working on it, I just want to remind everybody that's got their jaw agape right now that's a big,
or heart palpitating,
right? That everything is an energy first before it's actualized in this reality. So we are talking about what you want, and we're being okay with wanting it. That is literally the first step. Like, I want this, and then we're getting past the freak out because we just need to be okay with what we want and be satisfied with where we are and move towards what we want. Like, the simplest goal in this life is to understand what we want and then to be in satisfaction as we move towards it. Like, if we can get that straight in this community, right? The million entrepreneurs that are living consciously and changing the world is there before us.
Yep.
Right?
They're not feeling bad about these numbers anymore, right? And they're in the question of what would it take, and they're destroying and uncreating all the points they have a view of how it has to happen. And they're getting the support they need to make these transitions and shifts. Okay. So Elisa's sharing her numbers there. We've got some others on the chat. So my question for you with this, now that you know what you're investing to play small.
Do we all understand what that means, to play small, and what we're investing? If that's not banging you on the head right now, right, I really want you to speak up and say, I'm not following it. Right? So when you're looking at what help can you go do, where can you go spend your time or your effort now, based on what we've talked about in the last couple of days, it starts to become apparent for you, right? What things you need to be working on to get to that place, right? So go back and look at, I have problems wanting, right? I have problems with, my list of things I'm tolerating. I have problems understanding the impact I can make. I don't like numbers, right? I don't have a program that I'm, happy to sell, and that when I sell it, it's going to keep me on track with the goal that I want to have.
it's like dieting, right? If you want to lose weight, we know in, the very basics of things, right? We've got to have our hormones in line. We've got to watch what we eat. We've got to move our bodies, right? Just very basics. And for lots of people, there's different ways of, people do keto, people do vegan, people do juicing to get to that result. We're not needing you to get down to that level of detail. What we're looking at for you is like, where on that scope of things do you need support? Because when left to your own devices, you're going to go off and have crazy brain, or you're going to go off and continue to tell the story that you don't know where there's people who would pay money.
And in this case, Elise is asking, is it like we're leaving money on the table? And my correlation would be that, like, mathematically, yes, but for you to really feel it, you need to think about writing a check for that amount of money and signing your name to it. And then the payor is, I want to be a really tiny person.
Well, so let's look at this. So right now, if all of you took that money that we've written down, so for Allison, it was $480,000, right? If she would go invest that right now with somebody who could help her with sales, somebody who could help with marketing, somebody who could help with money mindset, right? Just those basic sort of things. And if she did that in an exponentialized sort of way, if she spent a dedicated month sort of getting over that, or a year getting over that, mastering those different skill sets, her long-term revenue generation, like if she's, she's only making the $20,000 now, right? But if she goes out and learns how to go sell high ticket, then she's got more money coming in than she had in the months that she wasn't making anything. And for most of you, you look back and you've been doing this for 12 months or 36 months, or I hope not a decade, right? Where you've been not making enough money. And so you're doing this, one, to understand for your own self the cost of playing small. And I told you that this was also an exercise you're going to have your clients go through. Because if you play this game with them and you have them take a real hard look at what their lack of health is costing them, what their lack of technology, calmness is, what their Deborah's in those relationship, she's helping you, like, what's it going to cost them to get a divorce? What's it going to cost them to, live 10 years in a marriage where they're not happy? Right?
How much would you pay to have 10 years of happiness in your marriage?
And this is where some of you are fucking yourselves up, because you immediately go into, well, I don't have 480 to invest, right? So you have to go back to a principle nobody really ever taught you, is money's not real, right? Money's not real. It's just energy. You are energy. And by getting in alignment with that, and all of that, right? You will create the money that you need. Did I get the beach house before I asked for divorce?
No. Oh, yes, you did.
No. I asked for divorce,
and
then I got a beach
you burned
house.
the bridge. Yeah, you burned the bridge.
I burned the bridge. Yeah. Did I, all of those magical transformations happened because I said, this is what I desire. I'm going to, no matter what it takes, I'm going to get something else different. And I took that action. Okay. So I'd like to walk you through something that Ron and I have put together here that we feel like is a tremendous support for the community at large in creating that $1 million business that everyone's looking for. Right. So let me get a second. I thought I had that pulled up and I had something different pulled up. Here we go. Nope. Here we go. All right. So we'd like to invite you to the Expand Your Impact Insiders community. Okay. So the group you're participating in now is still going to be free. We're going to provide lots of great resources in there for you. But the level of intimacy, the level of Ron and I getting to see you in that wholeness of that $1 million business owner, we're inviting those of you who that might be interesting for, that sounds like fun, into an opportunity to get more accountability, to get more support, and then to surround yourself with people who are doing the exact same things that you're up to. And that will tremendously help you in feeling like you're not alone and being inspired by people who are up to bigger things than you. All right. So this program is for those of you, if you want clients who are a joy, let me say it this right way. Clients who joyfully pay your rates and are a pleasure to work with. Let me know if that's you in the chat. Say yes, or in the Facebook, right? Do you want cash to fund all of the experiences that you, your body, and your business truly desire to actualize? Right? Do you want fun, enjoyable ways to market and promote yourself so client attraction becomes effortless? Yes. Yes. Do you want the freedom that comes from knowing everything is always working out for you and that you are the creator of your own phenomenally awesome reality?
I love what you've done there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's really great.
So if you said no to any of these, bye-bye. We don't need you around anymore. Just unfriend the group and leave, right? But if this is what truly is inspiring to you, then we invite you to come continue to hear about this. So
clients is often how we're going to make the impact that we want, right? That's one of the ways.
Right. So clients, cash, fun, freedom. We've designed this to help you with all four of those things, because just getting clients is, not so much fun, and sometimes it's work, right? And we've got to help you take those vacations before you're ready and before you know that you can. For me too, the times where I demanded we go on vacation and I planned that out first is really how we created the money and the clients to make those things happen.
Yeah, it's almost like a jump start that you put it on the calendar, right?
Yep, and then you stay in question with how that's going to happen. So those of you kind of already know us and whatnot. I'm going to send this to you guys as a PDF if you want it afterwards. But in this program, we're going to design and create your hero program. I call a high ticket transformational program a hero program. Hero stands for certain things. You'll learn what that is, but it's really a way that you can create something that's collaborative for you and the client and creates that outcome that you're looking for, right? We're going to move you away from dollars for hours and one-on-one sessions to a business model that gives your clients the outcome they really want and helps more people and helps you make more money with less time and less energy. You will also learn how to create a hero sales funnel. And so that means whether or not you're speaking, whether you're playing on LinkedIn, you're playing on Facebook, you're playing on Instagram, you and I and Ron will have to decide which avenue is best for you.
And sometimes we would do research and we were trying to identify where are your customers at. And then we would go on the platform where your customers are, right?
But that's the number one way to leverage and scale, is to pick one place where they're at, figure out how to get the client, right? What program needs to be offered? What do I need to say to get them? How do I have these conversations, right? And then you can scale it. And scaling is where the more money, less effort part comes in, where you're not, running around chasing your tail all the time. Now, from there, we're going to help you launch and master 4 marketing strategies, right? We'll focus on online marketing and offline marketing. So again, like real speaking at events, or online marketing, right? Or we can help you with Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter, again, whatever is going to work for you. But we're going to pick one per quarter to master and learn. So we're going to spend 90 days and we're going to help you get a funnel in place for LinkedIn, or get a funnel in place for speaking, right? And don't get lost in
as a reminder, what would be incorporated into a funnel? A funnel would be...
I do something for free. It gets the word out about me and what I'm up to. It leads somebody to getting on your email list. It leads somebody into investing at a low level to separate out the people who are buyers versus the ones that need a long time to date you before they marry you. And it leads them into a sales conversation, right? And then the next piece is you've got to master these sales conversations. You can't sell high ticket. That is my judgment and my conclusion, yes. But you can't sell high ticket. You don't want to sell high ticket without getting on the phone with somebody and seeing if they're going to be a fit. Because honestly, we're going to make this offer for you, and then I'm going to invite you guys into a conversation with Ron or I, because I don't want to just put a button on my website that says 30,000 and have you pay it. Don't worry, the program, it's not 30. But I don't want to receive that 30,000 if you're not going to be a good fit for the program. We're just going to have problems along the way, right? So it's teaching you how to take ownership of your own wants and desires when it comes to your clients, so that you can really find clients and prepare them ahead of time of what's required to work with you.
Excellent.
And then we're going to master the sales conversation process. We'll give you scripts. We'll help you to customize it to fit your needs. And the most important part of this is we will support you in either recording the conversations you're having with people and getting feedback from it, right? Listening to you doing a sales conversation and getting a do-over, right, from us is tremendously beneficial. This is what I did with the coach that Ann invested $100,000 in, and the multiple thousands of dollar masterminds that we participate in. It really helps for you to get somebody to listen to the sales conversations that you're having, because it helps you to start to see where you believe a reality that doesn't really exist, right? And it's really beneficial to hear other people's sales conversations, because you think you don't do those things either. And when other people share what's going on in their conversations, you learn a lot more from their conversations too. We'll talk about creating generous cash flow. So one of the things that we are very fast to market with is there's money in your business right now. Ron and I can give you some strategies, from affiliate marketing to direct selling companies to, you might be selling stuff on eBay or whatever, but there's ways that we can help you to generate cash if cash is your desire. And that might be different than you running the business, right? You running the business is you about creating all of these systems and structures that work without you. Right? And then the most important piece of this is to develop this magical mindset. I've got to get you to move past all your money stuck points. Nothing should ever be expensive. Nothing should ever be impossible. You've got to learn to stay out of the how it's going to work out, right? The conclusion of that. And I've got to help you to take all of the brilliance that you are and tie that into the unique contribution that the world needs you, right? Because you're the only one who has all your crazy skills, and there's just enough people out there who are looking for you and are happy to pay you. I
like that next line where it says manage your fears so you can do it anyway and move forward, right? So in that case, that's some of the more strategic and tactical things are more of Mandy's gift, and in a lot of the material, I mean, there's 40 magic bullets in all of this, and in each magic bullet, there's over-the-shoulder training with videos and templates and checklists about where to go and what buttons to push and how to make these platforms work for you. We do whole classes on how to make LinkedIn a lead generation machine, right? And LinkedIn is little known, but there's over 300 million people on the platform, and a lot of people with a lot of wealth are on that platform. We do lots of classes, and in those classes, it's over the shoulder, press here, press there, press this button. And then outside of that, there's strategies like, this is how you should really use your experience listing in your profile so that you can get attention from these people under these circumstances. You should try it this way. And then it's totally out of the box ideas about how this stuff works. Right, so that's all sort of part of a core part of our offering. But the part that I like is when you're doing something new and you get a little excited and you confuse that excitement with I'm afraid, or I don't know how it's going to show, or whatever. Like, I like bitch slapping people. I love being in a space with somebody. I like laughing at all the things that are important. Right? I like all this mindset and all this mastery. I just love it.
Yeah,
right?
And one of the things that also comes up for those empaths and intuitives is oftentimes we take all of these fears and all of this stuff that's going on, and a lot of times we internalize it. So we end up getting sick, or we end up with physical ailments, right? And what I have learned in my journey through this is
I have to continue to choose the business and the life that I want, sort of in spite of all of these other things that might distract me, right? So sometimes you choose to let your body distract you. Sometimes you choose to let other people in your family, you know, your kids or something like that, right? But the magical mindset comes in continuing to make choices that work for you and continue to make choices that create that change on the planet that we need for the next 5 years, right? And not making a choice of, well, I really need to, you know, I don't feel like doing this today, so I'm not going to, right?
I like talking
So
about how to tend a
we're
garden.
not going to take clients this month because, you know, it's Christmas. We're just going to let the horses die.
Yeah. I like talking about tending the garden. I really did.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into some details here because I know, actually, we got to talk about success stories here. Kathleen gets 5 to 6 new clients each week after implementing things that she's learned. Matthew went and learned how to do high ticket programs. He specifically went through the Income Magic Bullet program and was able to charge 40% more as a relationship and marriage coach, counselor, or therapist. And now has a steady stream. He uses a particular traffic source to get people to call him and book appointments. And then he pitches them in high ticket programs and has a very nice, easy business that affords him a lot of time with his family and his wife, right? With Kathy, we taught her how to use LinkedIn to get speaking gigs. And then how to take the clients. She'd done corporate, and she came out and she was doing woo-woo, like readings and downloads from the universe kind of sessions. And we taught her how to charge transformationally for that. And it locked in the same amount of income that she was making in her corporate job in these kinds of clients.
And that's exactly what she wanted. And we helped her to be able to talk corporate from woo-woo.
Right. And now she's back getting corporate clients, right, with her intuitive business skills and finding a lot of success in, with her, she's retired, doesn't really want to work a tremendous whole lot, but wants to make, you know, still multiple 6 figures. For her, it's really about being able to understand that she doesn't have to go in and do all the shit work she used to have to do.
I love shit work. I love shit work.
She can just come in and be the strategic advisor and provide the downloads about who to hire and what team members need to do what, right? With Marcella was a very successful direct selling, had a direct selling business, came into us. She's the one you guys hear about in 10K clients, where on the call where we're teaching her to go out and sell high ticket, she just goes back to the people she already knows and sells her first $10,000 program. So
in Marcella's case, the wonderful example that she provides for me is that she was very energized and very capable at selling. But traditionally, in her experience, she sold a third-party product. In this case, it was a direct selling company. It's, you know, women's makeup and the like, right? But she was very convincing, very effective, had a whole team of people, very motivating. And then when she wanted to go and talk about something that was more what she did and her talent in a slightly different field, it felt like you had to restart the sales conversation at the ground zero, because she didn't have as much confidence around herself and her offering as she did around the makeup, right? So it took a lot of cajoling initially with this same awesome person. When she shifted what she talked about, she had a void of confidence, right? Confidence is the easiest way to express it in this short conversation. But what was amazing is after she had had the slightest amount of experience in delivering on her first 10K program, her quote in class was, you know, I didn't really charge enough, right? So somebody who couldn't utter the words of $10,000 to begin with now felt like she needed to do 20 or 25 based on what she could perceive the value was for the client and having gone through the experience and the work it was to put it on.
Yep.
Right? That's what it is with a transformation. That's what happens when you shift your beliefs about what's possible, is that you're like, oh, I got to do this differently, right? So we're trying to tap into what's possible with you, right? And blow through and blow out all those limiting beliefs.
So again, I'm going to send you guys this document. We're going to post it in the Facebook group. There's 4 levels to participate. And based on how small you're playing, how fast you want to get to be playing bigger, and the support you need, will sort of determine which level to play with. Now, I'd invite you to choose based on, for first of all, play as if money is no object, right? Play with whether or not you'd like to be doing these things with us and whether or not these things would contribute more to you and your business. And if they're not, it's okay. No big deal, right? We want the people who are really excited to come play with us in this way. And then, only then, I want you to raise your hand that you're interested. Let us know. Ron and I will have a conversation with you. And then can you take a look at whether or not, if you have a conversation of, I don't have the money, I don't know how I'm going to create the money, whatever. What you've got to do first, though, is choose which would you choose if money was no object, right? And knowing that these are the things that are going to help you continue to learn the skills you need to make the impact you're looking to make, okay? Because we got ways to go out and help create the money. So the first way we support people is we run a mastermind retreats. We're going to do 3 of these this year. What we do is rent a private home somewhere in some fabulous location. We've done several in Asheville. We've done some in here in South Florida.
So we're on the top of mountains in the Sugar Mountain, Asheville area, on the very tip top in the summertime where it's beautiful. And it would be essentially like a ski resort type of town, right? And all of us stay together in this fabulous log cabin.
Right. So for 2.5 days, you don't have any outside distractions. We cover your lodging. We feed you really well, gourmet, organic, gluten-free, whatever paleo food you need to have. And we support you with the high-level marketing, sales training that you need, technical, tactical training. And we also, we do a lot of access consciousness work. So we run bars. If you're not certified in bars, we get you certified to run bars, because it's a practice that running bars, if we haven't talked to you about that, is 32 points on the head that correspond with different points of view you have about the world: money, creativity, communication, relationships, things like that. And we have found that by getting your bars run, our entrepreneurs actually get results faster because they continue to, basically, when you get your bars run, it's like rebooting your hard drive. So you just delete all of the years of guck and thoughts that you might have, you know, from other people about how your business should be and whatnot. So anyway, the retreats are very, we get a lot done, and we totally transform in our relationship with each other and with our businesses. And we support you holistically in managing your energy during those activities, right? So at these different levels, you're seeing that, you know, the diamond level, you get a 75% discount. You're looking at having a retreat be anywhere between $1,500 and $2,500 to come to a retreat based on, you know, the location that we pick.
And that includes food and lodging and
all the education and the time with Ron.
All that stuff. There's
right?
There's no more cost of that.
Right.
The other ones that we did were at the beach, like right on the beach. For those of you that haven't been around, you know, the beach time, and we went through some exercises that I know, in hindsight, blew the roof off of the place with some of the clients, because they were able to write down things that they wanted to have happen in their life, and they were able to document that those things happened within 60 to 120 days, that those things had shown up in their lives.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That was really, really amazing.
And if you haven't ever done a mastermind before, first of all, leaving your family and your business for 2.5 days, 4 days, with travel and all that, really helps you to quantum leap yourself. And additionally, it also supports you in, you've got 6 or 8 other entrepreneurs who are doing this too. And most of the time when we stay at home and work in our pajamas or workout clothes, we don't go to the water cooler anymore and commune with people. We don't have a lot of people who show us that a different reality exists. So we create these opportunities to really support you in at a very high level, right? There's way more in the world that's possible. Now, my favorite part of the program is these implementation labs. Now, implementation labs are opportunities where we do these 2 times a week. So usually Tuesdays and Thursdays around noon, where Ron and I get on the phone and we'll answer whatever question that you have. right? And our skill sets range from I can't get my WordPress plugin to load, I don't know how to do something, with my website, I don't understand Google Analytics, to, I'm having the sales conversation and, this person given me this objection, how do I overcome it? To
I've got this opportunity and I don't really know what to do with it.
Right.
I talked to this guy and he knows all these people and he wants me to do this thing and I'm stuck about what the next step should be.
Right. So it's an opportunity. I know as a budding entrepreneur that if I leave you to your own devices, you will get distracted. You'll go find another webinar on Facebook to, look at and think that you need and just distract yourself from your goal of getting high ticket clients, creating systems and processes that help you get clients with ease, and just to really create this amazing, easy life, right? So we want you on the phone. If you can't join us live, you send a question in and you watch the recording, but we want you to be taking action every single week, right? We have no man or woman gets left behind. You are being moved forward at whatever pace you're at. And energetically, everybody on the call contributes to one another, no matter where you're at. We have a great group of people that might be like, hey, I'm sick. I don't really feel good. I don't want to talk about my business today, but I'm just here because I love and support all the rest of you. And I'm, contributing.
I just feel better when I'm on the call.
Right? Some people just come for an upper, right? So 2 times a month or 2 times a week, we skip 1 week a month. So there's 6 calls in a month. If you're in the silver level, you don't get to attend those calls live. You get the recordings to them. You are allowed to send in questions, but you're not able to, interact with us live on those calls. If you're in gold, platinum, or diamond, you can participate in as many of those calls as you desire. Now, Ron and I's private coaching rate is $997 this year. And so this is a great way. If you wanted to come and just pick our brain for an hour, you're gonna pay $997.
Pick our brain about how to launch your book, right? What it takes to finish my book. How do I get it to be a bestseller, right? There's lots of different things that are more about I want to achieve this thing, and we can walk you through it. We've done that for a variety of different clients. It's the kind of thing that we flush out in a VIP day or in some of these coaching hours.
Okay, you want to go handle this?
Sure.
That one. Okay, and so then from that, the silver level doesn't get any private hours included, but you get a 50% discount if there's something that you do want to choose to do some coaching hours about. Our VIP day rate's $34.97. So silver, if you buy in at the silver level, then you get a 50% discount on coaching hours. Gold as well, right? You get some private coaching hours. There's plenty of time in the implementation labs and the other classes that we teach that you don't necessarily need the private time. And if you're just beginning, there's some times where there's plenty of stuff I can keep you busy with in the beginning. Now, if you do need the private coaching hours, if you want to talk about once a week with Ron or I, then the platinum level is going to be the option for you. And I call the diamond level unlimited. And this usually works out based on basically the honor system with our clients, right? It's not that Ron and I are going to be on the phone with you every single day, all day long, right? But we do understand how to create a strategy for you, break it into baby steps, and then send you on your way to take action and get stuff done. So the unlimited usually includes about 1 VIP day a month, virtual or in person, whatever works out for you. And then whatever amount of private coaching with Ron or I, as you get better at running your business, you're much quicker at being able to ask for what you want and be able to get feedback from us. So at the diamond level, this is definitely, you've got to talk to us if this is something that might work for you, because we want to make sure it's going to be a fit for a win-win with us, because I am saying the word unlimited. I have an understanding of what that's going to be, but that doesn't mean we run your business for you, right?
As an example, Mandy was on a client call on the day of her wedding because she had a client that was in crisis. The client had a launch.
Had a live event with 200 people in it.
And had like a critical, personal issue that she needed to flush out and get her head straight before she took on that day. And Mandy's on the call with her, I want to say at 6 o'clock in the morning on the day that she's getting married, right? So when we say unlimited, right, like we're interested in your fucking success, right? You're not getting the blow off. I personally reach out to everybody in text, in Facebook chat. I want you to be successful. I am trying to get inside your head and unlock everything that's going on for you. And the more that you can, be interested in that change, the more effectively we can help you.
So the next piece of things is called the Impact Accelerator trainings. Ron and I produce about 2 new courses a month. So one of them might be, our next one is like webinar magic bullet. I'm still on the magic bullet themes, but webinar magic bullet, like how to put on a webinar, when you put it in your sales sequence, right? So that's going to be a training that we provide. We will sell it to people on our list. But if you're silver, you get access to it after it's been recorded. For gold, you get a 50% discount if you want to participate live. Otherwise, you get the recording in the vault. And then for platinum and diamond, you get included on being live on those calls. Because I use you as examples, we usually create these programs because the clients need them, and it's a way that we can support them and get more people to be supported by that energy as well. So we're valuing that at $1,200 over the next year, but it gives you a way to have access to everything that Ron and I are doing. We also do a lot of access classes, mindset related, like the buyer's remorse, money in the big O, being you, being money. Those are all impact accelerator trainings that we create. You basically just get a free ticket to participate in those for the rest of the year. And then
that includes things like connections to clients blueprint, which is how to take people you're connected with and make them clients. It gives you templates and scripts of what to say on the phone, how to do email, like all of when I talked about the button pushing, right, and the templates and checklists, right, the amount of implementation labs is over the top, awesome, ridiculous, right, and that's what we're finding is separating us, because we've got all the strategic and tactical, and what we're trying to add is a sort of communication, support, and space to really create the sort of change, right?
So the vault is, we value that at over $10,000, $997, right? Let me give you a sneak peek into the vault here. Oops. Did that move over? Okay, so this is the vault where you're basically getting the profit plans. You're going to pick, I'm going to pay attention to LinkedIn. I'm going to pay attention to Facebook, or I'm going to, finish mapping out my 6-figure income plan, or you're doing an Instagram profit plan, right? So you get an outline, a customized blueprint to sort of start with. And then in each one of these, you say, okay, so I need help having sales conversations. This is the program I would
conscious conversion.
I would play with. I need help building a website that makes money. Okay, so here's the program you would learn. I need help doing social selling. So here's the trainings that you would do from there. And then we have them broken into, these are the tactical trainings to get more clients. And there's 20, 30 of them. Here's the trainings about how to make more money. There's only 10 of those right now, but they're coming as we go, right? Then you get all these planners. If you're going to do blogs, if you're going to do telesummits, if you're going to do quizzes, affiliate marketing, whatever's out there and hot, we've got a mini training that we can walk you through, a checklist of how to do all that. So the vault is, if silver, you get access to it for actually all levels. All levels you get access to the vault, meaning any program Ron and I have already created for the past 10 years. It's back there. There's some trainings actually that are not in the vault, but that we have access to giving you to if you've got some
that includes, there's a class called Money in the Big O. There's a class called Buyer's Remorse. There's a class called Removing Doubt, right? These are all classes that are either 3-part modules. She's good.
She's good.
Right. She saw me messing with her snack in preparation for the guy. So
got it.
She's just activated.
Okay.
Right. We've got somebody coming to the house in a little while, and our little P-dog is super excited to see us. Right. So you get access to the Insider's Vault. Mandy and I do one of these clearing calls and energy discussions about twice a month. Right. And those would be included, and they're not actually listed in the vault. Some of them are on the YouTube channel, right, but they're often stuff that we've discussed along the way. So go ahead.
So Allison's like, I need all of this. And that's why we're So here's the caveat with this. I've created all of this over the years as I've gone out and paid for other trainings, learned how to do it myself, and then I have my own way of translating it for people, partially because sometimes when you learn from somebody else, they have their point of view about, why it works and when to put it in something. And because all of you are powerful creators, I give you this information to inspire you and never to overwhelm you, right? It's not meant for you to think I'm failing because I haven't gone through enough of the bullets or I haven't gone through enough of the programs.
That's not how you're wrong.
No, it's really for, okay, business, what do you want to play with next? And you scroll through the vault and you say, ooh, doing webinars feels like fun. Let's learn to master that now. And it's also not meant to help you be distracted, but over time, these are all the parts and pieces that you're probably going to want to have some basic understanding about so that you can have somebody support you with doing these things so you can have that 7-figure business, okay? And whatever new techniques come out in the world, we're gonna, keep training you about that stuff too. Now, there's a Facebook group as well. It's a private group where just the EYI insiders are, and that's where I make little videos to answer questions you guys have in between calls. You share your landing pages and your sales pages with each other so that you can, get feedback.
It's also where we do feedback from the implementation calls.
Right. So we're there on a daily basis to support you. Now, what does that look like as far as an investment goes? Okay. At the pay in full level, the silver program is just $997. Or you can do a $297 deposit with 11 payments of $97. At the gold level, you're looking at an investment of $6,000 with a payment plan of $597 and 11 payments. Now, you're not adding these two together. I just had that sort of thought. Either you're doing the pay in full and you're saving the amount that's listed below, or you're saying, no, Mandy, I want a payment plan. And then you're doing the payment plan option, okay? At the platinum level, that's 12, and at the diamond level, that's 28.
Excellent.
Cool.
Yeah.
So if that's something that interests you, reach out to Ron or I. I will send everyone an email with the link to this brochure and a link to schedule a call. You need to get on the phone with Ron or I. Again, I'm not giving you payment links. I know most of you and would love to have you guys come play, but some of you guys are new, and so I do need to know a little bit more about your business just to help get you clear on sort of what this first year will look like together. So
can we get a hashtag yes in the group if anybody is interested and needs to have a follow-up now?
Yep. We are going to close membership on this this week. And so we can't guarantee right now. If you want to come join us, then these are the prices for now. Next quarter, they're probably going to be higher, right? Because we're staying in communion with our business and what it wants to grow and desire to be this $1 million business. So I'd like you to take a look at, again, first thing, are you choosing this based off of what you need to grow the business you want, right? Does it seem fun for Ron and I to support you in that? And then you can have a conversation about whether money, like how we're going to fund this, all right? Now, what you've seen us demonstrate today is a piece of some of these energies that you might want to know how to do so that you can support your clients in taking action like this too. So you're seeing a hero program developed, right? You're seeing the marketing and the selling of it. And then you're seeing the invitation that people have to being able to be a part of it. Okay, so would love to talk to you. We already have Elise who's going to come play with us, and Jessica, and Inga, and Joanna, and Leah, and that's all that's coming to mind at the moment. But looking in Nicole, but looking to really support you guys in seeing if this is a fit for you. So I'd love to have a conversation with you. Reach out to Ron or I. We've got to go now. And thank you so much for participating in the 7-day challenge. I hope you learned so much. And I can't wait to play with those of you who are insiders. All right. Take care, everybody. Bye.